Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video. I'm Pokemon Trainer Diode and today we finally get to the end of our Pokémon Crystal Randomized Nuzlocke challenge. It's been a while since I posted my last video in the run. Oh well, that's actually a really long time. But we're all here now. Before we begin, I have to tell you, this last video in the series was made in a narrated style because I didn't want to keep you guys roaming around Kanto for 20 more episodes. So I just played through the remainder of the game and worked hard to bring you all a recollection of those events. So let's get started. We left off on Route 13, and sadly all the footage I recorded for this part of the video was lost. Thankfully, nothing major happened, so I kept going through Fuchsia City and the trainers along the way had mostly Fire-type Pokemon, so Bruno and Atlas did most of the work. The ones that didn't have Fire types, Bruno just swept because he was so overleveled. Now, we're caught up, so let's get on with the video. So after all the grinding, we went to Janines Gym. And it is of course a grass type gym. Which is bad for us because our highest level Pokemon is Bruno, a water rock type, which if you didn't know is 4 times weak to grass. So we have to pull off a miracle so we can win. We go for Bite. Thankfully it does half damage, Victreebel doesn't even attack us, and another Bite seals the deal. Up next was Meganium. We go for Bite again since it's the only move they don't resist. We luckily flinch. We Bite again hoping for the next flinch since it drops Meganium to red health, but it actually poison powders us. Now that we're poisoned, we're on a timer. We Bite again and we get rid of the Meganium. Janine's next Pokemon was Exeggutor. Thankfully it's part Psychic type and we have Bite, which is super effective against it. And even more so since this is 2nd generation, Bite is a special move. Thankfully, Bruno's special attack is extremely high, so we can actually one-shot the Exeggutor no problem. Her 4th Pokemon is a Jumpluff, which of course proceeds to use Leech Seed. So now we're poisoned, and we have Leech Seed damage taking every single turn. Thankfully, we have leftovers to mitigate some of that damage, but since Jumpluff used Leech Seed, it's now getting health back as well. So we just keep biting and hoping for the best as it just keeps using Cotton Spore. We finally take it out and we are on our way to the last Pokemon, which is another Jumpluff. So now we're poisoned. We're Leech Seeded. We're up against another Jumpluff. The imminent threat of a grass attack is still on the horizon. So we go for Bites, hoping to do more damage, but this Jumpluff is a higher level and it takes less damage than the previous one. Our poison and leech seed damage keeps ticking and we're falling behind. We have absolutely no switching since most of our Pokemon are in their level 20s. So we have to do this with Bruno. Another Bite drops Jumpluff to yellow health. But our Bruno is running dangerously low on HP, so we decide to full restore. With our health back to full, Jumpluff just keeps using Cotton Spore for whatever reason. I guess it's the only grass type move it has. We keep biting, hoping to just get rid of this Jumpluff, but it puts us to sleep. Now, we have to wake up fast, or else Jumpluff is gonna keep healing every single turn and we're gonna be back on square one. We finally wake up after a few turns and we're about half HP. Thankfully Jumpluff misses its next sleep powder. We can bite it again and it looks like it's about 2 bites away. But if it puts us to sleep again, we're gonna have to full restore and we don't want to do that. Thankfully it misses its sleep powder and we hit it with Surf, which actually does more damage than Bite. I didn't think it would since Jumpluff resists, but I guess being same tap attack bonus and being a stronger move overall, I guess it made sense. Jumpluff puts us to sleep once again, but we almost immediately wake up and we manage to knock it out with another Surf, finally getting us the gym badge and defeating Leader Janine. After that fight, with the EXP share on, Phanpy evolves into Donphan. After we defeat Janine, we head on east to Route 18 and get an encounter there. Remember guys, this is still a Nuzlocke. Our Route 18 encounter is an Oddish, which we actually pretty easily catch and name her Luna. And we replace our Scyther with it, since Scyther is, kinda crap in Gen 2. And Gloom is way better. After catching the Oddish, we decide to go on the cycling road, which we can't access because we never got a bike.
Wait, that's illegal.
I just used the speed up button for slow sessions and grinding and moving around, so I never really needed it. Well, I guess it's time to backtrack. After a few battles, our Oddish evolves into Gloom, which is great. So now we just really need to find a leaf stone for it. We backtrack all the way to Route 11, which is a new route for us since Snorlax is blocking the way from Vermilion City. Our encounter here is a Jolteon, which is pretty great. We manage to catch it and we name it Spike because I'm super original. After catching Jolteon, we make our way north to Lavender Town. And honestly, am I the only one bothered that it changed from a creepy graveyard town to a quaint, happy place? That change of music really threw me for a loop the first time I heard it. I was so used to the creepy tones of the original Lavender Town that having this soft, melodic background music on it, it just ruined it for me. But I guess times change and we have to do new things. Heading west of Lavender Town, we reach Route 8. In here we find a Hitmonlee, which we are able to catch and we name it Bruce. And we store it in the PC because right now our party is looking pretty good. Up next is Janines Gym. Since I'm an expert on Pokemon, I've been playing since Pokemon Yellow, if you didn't know. I know my way around this gym like the back of my hand. Is what I would have said if I didn't spend about 5 minutes just going back and forth trying to figure my way out. But look, here's Sabrina, which is a steel type gym leader this time. Her first Pokemon is Steelix. And of course we have radio out because we forgot to switch, so let's do the thing and just sweep this entire gym with Bruno, okay? Okay.
I'm about to end this man's whole career. Look.
You got a point right here. It is.
Boom. Bam. Bop. Bada bop. Boom. Pow.
And after ruining Sabrina's whole career, we get the gym badge. One more for the books. Bruno is doing a really good job though. He's been carrying us since the Elite Four, where he was the only surviving member of the team. I guess Chuck had enough time on this life and just passed on the responsibilities to Bruno, because she carried us through the entirety of Johto, and now Bruno's doing the same thing in Kanto. Moving along to the next route, we're going to Route 7 and we encounter a Yanma. But we kill it with radio since it's Gen 2 and nobody cares about Yanma. Next up, Celadon City. We meet an old man that tells us that there's a Grimer in the pond, and being the only encounter we can get in Celadon City, we decide to go for a surf. We find a Hitmonchan. We catch it and we call it Mac. Then we move to Erikas Gym, and in front of the gym we meet the pervy old guy, who, when we were kids, we thought was so cool because, you know, he was just staring at the girls. But taking a closer look at the girls that are in the gym, you can see that they are quite of an inappropriate age. So let me just make a quick call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
After the old guy got taken care of, we move inside Erikas Gym, and apparently Sabrina traded over her team, because Erika is now a psychic type gym leader. Great! First up is Alakazam, which of course sets up a reflect, but thankfully Bite is special this generation. It recovers, we Ancient Power hoping for the Omni boost. Alakazam begins to use Psychic, but we manage to knock it out. The next Alakazam starts spamming Psychic. We bring it close to KO, but we have to heal since it's faster than us. Thankfully, we do just that because Erika didn't heal, so we would have lost Bruno. Alakazam recovers, but we knock it out with another bite. Exeggutor thankfully uses Confusion instead of a grass type move, and we're able to KO it with super effective bites. Last on our team is Satu, who sets up a future sight straight out of the Pokeball. We bite, Erika heals, we Ancient Power hoping to KO, but it lives and confuses us. Bruno thankfully breaks through the confusion and we defeat Erika. I may have downplayed it just a bit because I'm just narrating it, but this was one of the hardest battles we've had in Kanto so far because of course Psychic types are broken in Generations 1 and 2. There's only one thing left to do after getting our next gym badge. Moving along, north of Saffron City, we get to Route 5, where we find a Geodude. And it's a female, so we name her Geodette. We make it to Cerulean City, and we go straight for the gym, but there's no one there. So we move up to Route 4, where we encounter a Muk. And we catch it and name it Nick. We took Radio out of the team and switched in Nick the Muk. On Route 24 we encounter Onix, and we run because we just caught a better rock type. On Route 25 we find Alakazam. We Master Ball it immediately and named it Shazam. We switch Teapot for Shazam, and I'd say it's a fair trade-off. We proceed to destroy the Nugget Brick group, head back to Cerulean City since there's nothing else to do here, but try Route 9. Where we encounter a Wobbuffet. Thankfully, it doesn't have an ability, so we can actually escape instead of losing the entire run like many other players have in future generations. After Route 9, I decide to check out the power plant. Going down there, on Route 10, we encounter a Remoraid. I call it Boomstick. We go into the power plant and find out the generator part has been stolen. The police officer asks us for our cooperation, which in Pokemon game translates to "you go do the thing now." Back in Cerulean, we go back to the gym and meet. We chase him to the Nugget Bridge, where, after a short battle, he tells us he hit the machine in the gym. So back to it we go. Again. We get the part, and now that we have Alakazam, I can pull the big brain 200 IQ play and use this Pokemon Center so we can teleport back to it after handing over the machine part. So we do exactly just that, and the power plant manager gives us the TM07 Fire Blast, which is way better than the usual Sap Cannon. We teleport back to Cerulean to hunt down Misty. We find her on a date right in front of Bill's house, but the dude who's with her can see our alpha male aura from far away and runs for his life. Misty was a bit bothered by this, until we showed her our
bit impressive
shiny badge collection, which certainly caught her attention since she invites us to the gym.
I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
Now on the gym, we surf our way around the gym trainers because we have no time for that, we have a date. And we head straight over to Misty, who turns out to be a normal type gym leader. This battle was trivial at best. Bruno just stood there spitting water at everything and barely taking a scratch to the shell. We defeat Misty and add another badge to our case. 3 gym leaders to go, but first we have to go back to Lavender to get the radio card so we can wake up the sleepy Snorlax blocking Diglett Tunnel. Which would be perfect, except for the fact that I never got the radio card in the first place. And now I have to go back to Johto, get the radio card, then come back here for the Snorlax. I'll be back in a flash.
Sorry I'm late. I love what you've done with the place.
After getting the radio card back in Johto, we can finally wake up the Snorlax. Let's just tune in a beautiful soothing song to wake up the Snorlax, and ooh, this is perfect. And Snorlax encounter is a level 50 Zubat. Thankfully we just cleared the road and are able to progress in the game. let's not talk about this again, okay? In the Diglett Cave, we encounter Gloom, but we have one already and we didn't find any other Pokemon as we made our way through, so I'm not really gonna search for another team member. Route 2's encounter is another Subit. We make our way to Brock's gym, which is a fighting type gym, and it's a full sweep. Great. I'm barely getting any challenge at all, and I'm just using one Pokemon since the rest of my team is completely underleveled. But so far Bruno has been carrying, and I'm not gonna complain. Moving south, we get to Route 1, where we encounter a Tangela. Why not? Never used a Tangela before. We catch it, and we named it Hairspray. We surf from Pallet Town, where we encounter a Bayleaf, but sadly, I ran out of Pokeballs, so that's another lost encounter. I went back to Viridian City and bought 45 Ultra Balls, you know, just to be safe.
Boom! 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3 quick maths.
Surfing south, on Route 21, we encounter a Marowak, and we accidentally killed it. Moving further south, we get to Cinnabar Island, where we managed to catch a Sandslash and we name it Knuckles. Because the shiny is red and I'm extremely original, let's move along. We meet Blue in Cinnabar Island, where he teaches us about climate change, introspection, and complete existential crisis before flying off into the sunset. We are so close to the 7th gym now, so let's head on to the Seafoam Islands and see how the old Quiz Master is doing. On Route 24, we find a Politoed, and we lose its encounter because of Perry's song. We get to Blaine's gym, and honestly, this battle was just a toned down Lance battle from the original games. After the 3 Dragonites were taken down, we have ourselves 7 badges and 1 last gym to go to. Now, before going to Blue's gym, I have to grind, because the jump in levels is crazy high compared to the rest of the Kanto leaders. Originally, Blue's team is over level 55, with the previous gym leaders barely scraping the 50s. And with the added 10% to the levels I included in the challenge, it will bump up Blue's team to the early 60s, and I cannot count on Bruno to keep solo carrying me through the rest of the battles in the game. Thankfully, we have a lucky egg and an EXP share, which made this arduous task somewhat manageable. I found an area on the routes adjacent to Cinnabar Island, where the encounters were mostly Politoed, Sandslash, Piloswine, Meganium, and other evolved forms of Pokemon that yielded around 1200 XP for each battle. Halfway through the grinding, I decided to switch Gloom out for Tangela because there was no way I could randomly find a Leaf Stone to evolve it, and since Tangela was only level 2, I could control the moveset it learned as it leveled. Even with the lucky egg, EXP share, and the mighty speed up button, it took me hours to grind this team to around level 55, 60 at most, since I don't want to just over level and sweep everything cause where's the fun in that? We came close to losing some team members in the grind. Sometimes I got distracted by a stream or a video I had on my second monitor and didn't notice Polito's Perish song was counting down. Thankfully I managed to focus and was never surprised again. Also, don't joke around with Sunflora. I almost lost a few members because their Petal Dance did so much damage. After all our grinding, it's time for our last gym battle. I lead with Alakazam since it's the strongest mon in the team. Blue leads off with a Tentacruel, which means he's either a water or a poison type gym leader. Either way, Alakazam's got this in the bag. I start off firing a powerful Psychic that leaves Tentacruel with a sliver of health, allowing it to drop me to below half with Hydro Pump, but with another attack, Tentacruel is no more. I wanted to set up Reflect against his Crobat to give Alakazam a fighting chance, but Crobat was too fast and took out Shazam in a single hit. I know, I should have healed first, but hindsight is 2020. I send in Spike the Jolteon to sap the Crobat with the Thunder, which KOs in a single hit. Next is Venomoth, which survives the Thunder and hits back with a Psychic. It's at a low enough health to be knocked out, so I Thunder Shock. And that's what I thought, but it lives on red health and manages to Psychic us again. But then we managed to survive on red health and take out the Venomoth. Blue sends in his Arbok, and we immediately switched Jolteon out of there and sent in our star, Bruno, the Oma star. I'm really bad at jokes. Oma star takes poison hits as a joke and takes a chunk out of Arbok's HP with Surf. Another Surf, and it's done. Next up is Vileplume, and that poses an immediate threat to my team. Except for Muck. So in goes Nick the Muck to take the grass and poison attacks like they were nothing. We attack with Sludge, doing about a third of Vileplume's HP. Another Sludge brings us down to yellow, but it paralyzes us, and Blue full restores, resetting the battle. We continue to take petal dances like nothing and shoot it back Sludge after Sludge until Vileplume faints. Blue's last Pokemon is Beedrill. I send Bruno back in for some ancient power shenanigans, but not before Beedrill hits us with Pin Missile, which of course hits 5 times since it's an NPC using it. Beedrill gets fully healed, but a couple of ancient powers seal the deal, and with that we earn our 16th badge. We head back to Pallet Town and we talk to Professor Oak, who gives us access to Mount Silver, and decide to head there onto the last challenge. Finally, at Mount Silver, I decide to manically grind my team to around the 90s. Red's higher level Pokemon is originally his level 81 Pikachu, but just like with Blue, the extra 10% levels we included in the challenge bumped his Pokemon to the late 80s, early 90s, so I had to be ready. I added Geodude to the team and began the grind. After many hours, our team is finally ready. We easily navigate the darkened cave, and by easy I mean I had to look up a map, since I don't have Flash, and I had no idea to get through. But I digress. Our final battle begins. The battle we have grinded hours for. All of our battles lead to this. A final match against the strongest Pokemon Master in the second generation, Red. He leads with a Dog Trio, which means Red is a ground type trainer, and since we have a few water and grass types in our team, you can figure out what happened next. It wasn't a clean sweep, since the battle had a few back and forth moments, but to be honest, setting the trainers' teams to a single type made this battle feel irrelevant, and quite honestly massively anticlimactic. But it was my first ever randomized Nuzlocke, and we won! Thank you all for watching my first ever Nuzlocke challenge. There were a few moments where I thought the run would have been over, but we managed to pull through and persevere against all odds. It was a very fun and gratifying experience, and I can tell you all how cool it has been to watch my channel grow bit by bit. I really hope you enjoyed this run of Pokémon Crystal, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share the video if you so desire, and get ready, because there's an imbalance in the weather patterns far away, and we have to travel there to investigate.
Well, it was absolutely unlike anything I've ever experienced before.
The message is that the whole west coast is at risk.
There's a large cold front sweeping up from the south and 2 low-pressure systems bearing down from the north.
It seemed to be a quieter night in terms of the aftershocks that you could actually feel, but